I'm here. I'm coming. Don't worry. Here it goes. 3, 2, where'd it go? Hi. Ta-da! Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. How are you? Happy Wednesday afternoon. I'm still awake because I am jacking myself up on coffee. Yeah, I like a little cream in my coffee on occasion, even when it's just collagen powder. I'm settling in. It's a good time. Thanks everybody for joining me on the myriad of the emotional roller coaster we've been through today with both my morning show and the visit to Stuttering John's show in the afternoon, and then this show promises to be full of our usual wackiness with some surprises. I'm very excited, as many of you are, I'm sure, to always know what I'm thinking. I like finding out what I'm thinking from people who don't know me. You know, I think they're the best judge of what's actually going on in my head, is total strangers, especially those that I have animosity towards, and that eventually, they're going to every thought I have is opposite of theirs, and that's how I know what's in their head. And I think that is how it works over at InfoWars. Now, you're currently watching Infotainmentwars.com, and I hope you'll subscribe. Do it. I'm not using bots. I refuse to do it. You hear that, Elon Musk? I'm not botting my way to success. You are, congratulations, a part of a non-GMO organic social media crowd. So plant your own seeds. What? And like and subscribe. And if you're part of our Twitch community, don't forget, with Amazon Prime, it doesn't cost you a dime. If you've got that, you can subscribe on Twitch and help out the show. Also other things. Now, as you'll see, the Democrats' new January 6th agenda leaked. Because apparently, I guess he's had dozens of other videos about the old agenda. They're gonna dust off the old agenda, Marge. Give it a good spit polish and swing for the fences. I'll meet you in the barn. But chance to recast midterm message. Here's the new, all new, with fiber. And let's see. There's going to be an ad. Should the United States Embassy remain? Oh, God. Who gives a shit?
They don't even hide it anymore.
I didn't realize. Sorry. It scared me. I thought it was going to be Alex Jones. I was not expecting his Amish fill-in. Seriously. Can you, is there such thing as an Amish youth pastor? There is no way this dude doesn't have a thumb drive or a hard drive with a thumbprint that you have to get into. You have to have his fingerprint to get into, or he has to put his thumb on it and say a magic word. Leather Goddess of Phobo says organic only means it is carbon based. This means that Kimberly Guilfoyle is not a subscriber. This is true. Well, parts of her anyway. She's got a lot of aftermarket parts. I won't argue with that. I wouldn't know what to say. All right. So sorry, Amish Alex Jones is and by the way, I appreciate that he's sporting sort of a circa 1985 run-of-the-mill stand-up outfit, and yet he also chucked in a pocket kerchief.
They publish their plan.
Yes, because they're not ashamed of it. Unlike the hidden text messages that the Trump administration and all those lackeys were sending. It's weird that way, isn't it?
On the front page of the New York Times.
Oh, I didn't realize that's where the op-ed section was now.
January 6 hearings give Democrats a chance to recast midterm message.
Yeah, that's exactly their plan. Or it could be the writers at the New York Times making a political calculation about what it could mean with the Jan 6 committee and no, give them a chance to. I see.
That came out first thing this morning for the.
It did first thing this morning, right out of the toaster.
The front page of the New York Times.
On the front page, how dare they?
January 6 hearings give Democrats a
Thank you. We're getting the drone's eye view.
Chance to recast midterm message. In other words, they're going to use January 6th as their main issue.
No, they could potentially, from the point of view of the writer. Hi, dum-dum. Look, is that a head wound or is that just an artifact? Seriously, what is this one flew over the cuckoo's nest stuff? Do you have to be lobotomized to work at InfoWars? What the fuck is that?
Entering.
Oh, he was just turning and a curl of his hair came down. But in that video part of it, it looked a little bit, now it looks like he's got devil horns. You know what? There might be something to this QAnon freeze frame business.
The midterms. Now, are they settling on this now, considering we've only got 154 days left till the midterms? Or are they going to abandon this ship when they realize it's a failing operation as well and move on to whatever the next current thing is?
Well, then if that's how they react to plans and they just sort of move from plan to plan, I got no news for you. Nobody gives a shit then. Then it's not a master plan. A master plan. Hold on, my earphones feel like I stepped on my cord or something, and when I moved my chair and it kicked them out of my ears. It's not a master plan if you jettison it, fucko.
And they hired a news producer from ABC News.
Not ABC News. I hear they work for Good Morning America. You know, that CIA front that's trying to get me to like Kim Kardashian and Louis Vuitton bags and tell me what the hot toy of Christmas will be? Those bastards.
A director to hype this up for a made-for-television event.
Yeah, they and not only him, they're not just trying to hype it up with a producer from GMA. They're going to actually have hype men there. Lil Jon is going to be like, what? In the middle of it, like, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to present a piece of, okay! I'd like a piece of evidence into these texts. What? He said it in a recording. What? It's actually, we'll play it for you. What? I haven't played it yet. Okay.
Now imagine, they've gone through thousands of individuals' emails and text and everything for the
Yeah, it's almost like a big sprawling investigation.
Last year and a half, looking to find anything. And
to find anything? Well, I don't even know why it took them that long. You can see anything anywhere you want. Anything is everywhere. It's everything. Anything is at that point. You find everything. Everything is anything. They're just looking to find anything.
Of course, they found nothing because there's nothing.
Well, isn't that the worst when you're looking for anything and you find nothing? But isn't that isn't that the way to inner peace? Isn't that the way you find yourself? Honestly, I was seeking anything, and what I found was nothing. You can't always get what you want.
There. So now what they're going to do...
For now, I guess.
Is they're going to basically put all that through a filter.
They're going to put it all through a filter, add a little ice to cool it off, strain it. Is it a 1 cup or are we talking about a whole pot? I guess it's thousands of emails. So obviously it's a whole pot.
And do what you might call selective editing or cherry picking.
Really? That's your job, dude.
So that they can bring certain things up out of context.
Ah, that's what it is. Out of context. I mean, the context is, here's a guy taking a shit. Who hasn't taken a shit? I mean, we all shit. Some of you are shitting right now. I know I'm on phones. Some of you just you just left the door open and I'm on the TV or something, and you're shitting currently. And that's, we shit. Everybody poops sometime when you're all alone. Yeah. But the only difference is that, they remove the context. And this guy's shitting in the rotunda of the Capitol. I mean, and that obviously is just on its own. Being in the rotunda is not wrong. Shitting isn't wrong. So why is shitting in the rotunda wrong? Oh, because he beat a cop with a Blue Lives Matter flag before he did it. I see. You know what? It's context. You're right. I'm cherry picking.
Present them to the public to try to sway public opinion against Republicans and to continue their agenda of demonizing patriots. And
thank God that InfoWars is not in the business of demonizing people.
Who ordered Mojo.com?
He
New video
frauding the
our pick. We're looking at some.
After you're done drinking your little juices, well, you're ready to go out and have a baby.
Number 10, Pizzagate.
Anthony Weiner is going to be investigated for child porn on his phone and contacting minors.
The 2016 American presidential race was characteristically a pizza-related online panic
News, folks.
after a shoot.
I apologize to him.
Number 9
Yourself
is a 2010 Federalist over the images community.
is going to trigger racial riots and racial killings.
He actually said there was a 90% chance the movie would cause a race war. Well, maybe not enough Mexican Americans saw it because nothing happened.
You've been given the green light to create a race riot film to create division in this nation so the globalists can play whites and Hispanics and others off against each other.
Number 8, government-controlled important damned however
Goes on and on.
their purpose that these chemicals
Meteorologists, astrophysicists, and others that I've talked to have said what they're spraying and releasing would actually eat holes in the atmosphere and damage the soils of the planet.
As the cherry on top of this piece of hard-hitting investigative journalism, he warns that government weather weapons, such as HARP, could be used to cause natural disasters like earthquakes and the
Just read that God's going to destroy the earth next time by fire.
We're not really sure what they ever did to him, but Alex Jones sure dislikes Satanists. According to Jones, the demonic high-tech tyranny of the New
There's the
World
demons
Order is
part.
led by Satanist elites who create economic and health crises in order to advance their agenda of world domination.
And if you believe the Bible, it's being run by an ancient, powerful entity with super advanced intelligence.
This group of Illuminati has links to Hillary Clinton, Marina Abramovich,
Yes, he's never he doesn't demonize anyone, except when he literally calls them demons.
and Lady Gaga. In fact, think of it kind of.
How
You're a hatchet man of the New World Order. You're a hatchet man.
Things got a little. America has conspiracy nearly.
Castro took the guns.
How many-
Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
Number 5.
Oh God, yes, where he? Oh, good Lord. Oh yeah, he did
The
this.
unsettling segment. Alex dresses as the Joker from Christopher Nolan's 2008 film The Dark Knight, doing his
Well, that's unfair. He doesn't dress as Christopher Nolan's Joker from The Dark Knight. He dresses, I don't know, kind of as a what would you call that? That's a. It's like it looks like John Wayne Gacy doing his true clown makeup. Hold on. Where's my button? There it is. Want to know how I got these jowls? My father was a snacker. And every day he would come home from work with Little Debbie snack cakes and potato chips and lots of basically sugar, salt, and fat. And he would sit down in front of me, and I didn't want to eat any of it. And he'd go, "Why so serious?" What a bunch of assholes. Hold on. My button, there we go.
Best imitation of the character that wowed audiences with his unhinged and maniacal behavior. The InfoWars host starts the segment with a seriously chilling laugh, and things
which he stole from that poster that people made.
Just get weirder from there.
What's fun is laughing right back at these psychopathic bastards and telling them that we know exactly who they are and exactly what they're doing.
Still in
Yes, he knows exactly where they are and exactly what they're doing. And that's why years later, he had to declare bankruptcy because he told a bunch of parents whose children were shot to pieces that they didn't actually have children. Why so hangry, right? So here we go. Let's go back to Amish Alex Jones.
Excusing their political prisoners.
Okay, now we gotta skip ahead and whatever, their ad piece.
I don't like talking about January 6th because of ongoing legal stuff.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it because of ongoing legal stuff. You mean the fact that your boss is going to be indicted on it, more than likely?
But obviously I'm innocent, and
obviously I'm innocent. It's clear that no sensible person would put me in charge of anything meaningful. Why do you think Alex let me run InfoWars while he's gone?
So therefore I can't lose.
Oh, I don't know. I believe in you. I think you've got a lot to lose.
Now I could have a rigged case against me, which is the case, or I could.
So is there a case against you? Jesus.
Not do well in court, but that would.
Well, yeah, you're not going to do well in court. I'm just going to, first of all, you're going to represent yourself. Secondly, you're going to declare yourself a sovereign citizen and say that even the shackles they put on you are now your property, and you'd file a lawsuit to sue them for the key.
It would just be political persecution by bad people against me.
Not bad people. Say it isn't so. There's what? Bad people.
By the worst people of this country.
The bad who are worse. The worst bad people you've ever seen. Of all the bad people, they're the worst.
Being politically persecuted by them, that's an honor. That's a victory.
Well, congratulations. Obviously, congratulations are in order. But wait a minute. And this is a big but.
There are big developments in the January 6th narrative now, or at least the Democrats are trying to bring it back because everything else has failed them, folks. They cannot figure out what is going to get people to the polls. And
well, I mean, honestly, you could argue the Supreme Court is about to fuck around and find out.
So they're going through this cycle now
of the thing that they've been working on for over a year. It's almost as if Republicans, and specifically maggots, hadn't made a failing attempt at overturning democracy, you would have stolen the midterm messaging from the Democrats. If you guys had any, that would assume that you guys actually can see, a couple of steps ahead and make judgment calls and strategic decisions based on how things are probably going to work out. And obviously, you can't run a show where your desk is covered in fucking paper every day and pretend people haven't heard your same shit over and over again.
They're repeat cycle now, and they're back on January 6th. Now,
well, no, it's a culmination. They're finally getting to it. We haven't done this before. You're thinking of Benghazi.
Notice, they've tried Ukraine. They've tried abortion.
They've tried Ukraine. They've tried abortion. Do we try? Oh, I see. We tried Ukraine by making Putin invade, and we tried abortion by making the conservative court eliminate a woman's right to choose. How are we trying? We're responding to things that are actually happening. Does this asshole get sideswiped by another car while going through an intersection and say, I tried a car accident?
They've tried everything under the sun, and that was after they already tried January 6th, and that didn't work.
No, you guys tried January 6th, and it didn't work, for the record.
But now they're back on January 6th, and the same people that promised you, like Adam Schiff and others, remember, they promised you that they had proof of Russian collusion. Well, I mean, I can sit here and tap on my watch.
Yeah, you mean the one that has the tracing chip in it that follows you around everywhere you go? Stop. And by the way, don't tap on it. It makes the guys in the van's ears hurt.
But I'd be doing that for the rest of my life because there is no evidence of Russian collusion.
How is it that this young, relatively skinny man has more gas than Alex does? Dude, burp before the show. How many times did I... Oh, God. Try to...
Because there never was any Russian collusion, and now we all know it was just made up by Hillary Clinton and her campaign.
No, that's what would happen if you played Jenga with headlines. That's how you would interpret these things.
But see, Adam Schiff and the Democrats they promised that they would show the evidence that they had of Russian collusion. Think about the boldness of those lies.
Well, they did. They ended up impeaching him. It's just the Senate kept him in. Just saying. He did get impeached.
To stand up there and tell you they are going to give you something that they don't have and they know doesn't exist. Now they're doing the same thing with January 6th, saying...
Well, I will say that if everybody involved in Trump's financial and political ties with Russia had been Facebook living themselves during the entire process, it would have been more helpful, I would say.
We've got more evidence.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't poop. That's a good point, Fish Delight. Thank you.
We've got more this. We've got more that. Yeah, well, you've been doing proctology exams of everybody that you possibly could involve with January 6th, and everyone's cooperating with you because nobody has anything to hide.
Yeah, everybody's cooperating. That's why Peter Navarro ended up in leg irons.
And so
and that's why Steve Bannon, another buddy of yours, avoided the subpoena as well and has got a lawsuit, has a trial coming up.
See if they do decide they're going to try to piece something together for a public viewing.
Public viewing.
I think that's their plan, as they now hired an ABC News producer or news editor.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm making giant assumptions about what this person is and what their motivations are and what they're going to do and how they're going to use this person or whatever. I don't even really know what they do. I just know it's not going to work.
To now run the Democrat Party propaganda over January 6th. And I'm pretty sure it was the same guy who helped ABC News spike the Jeffrey Epstein story.
Are you? Oh, yeah? When did that happen? Oh, during the Trump administration. I seem to... The guy who spiked the Jeffrey... Epstein story. There was a story about the Jeffrey Epstein and spiking. A story with so Trump's in office and he's president, and Epstein gets arrested, and somebody spikes this. They spike the story, do they? They somebody. Know this? No, I couldn't. It's weird. Somebody spiked the story. Okay, while Trump was president, Epstein gets okay. All right, wait. I'm just clarifying.
Remember that with Gina Rohrbach? Yeah, the same people that cover up sex trafficking are the ones that are going to put out a media puff piece for their own political purposes about January 6th.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have contracted with one.
Oh God, you need some lead in your pencil. We need this. Let me tell you what. We have a pill that will seal your butthole so tight that you could sit there and do a show all day without ever having to take a shit. Oh, this is one of like hide your phone and that kind of stuff. Like the hide. What in the world? The fuck?
Or for the rest, he's still, Biden is way lower than Donald Trump. Way lower. Pretty amazing.
Why is the footage? Oh, yeah, because you're using Rasmussen, you think?
And nobody buys your media anymore. Nobody buys your propaganda anymore. Nobody buys your lies anymore. And he's such a failure that the American people obviously see what's going on.
Obviously. They see what's going on. That's why they're rushing back to work.
Blatant theft of the 2020 election. Biden didn't even campaign. Trump got 50,000 average at events.
Yeah, the same fucking people. We covered all this stuff. Also, he got more than that in some cases. He got 65,000 and stuff. He's not getting that number now. It's like 3,500, but
it's more votes than Obama.
Right, because everybody was able to vote, and that jacked up the numbers. Everybody was home. Everybody was paying attention. Nobody was distracted with their job.
I mean, you can go on and on, but you know the point. So the point is that, and imagine if the media wasn't lying about Trump all day long and they weren't lying about Biden all day long to protect him. Trump's approval rating would probably be up above 60 all the time, and Biden's would be below 40. But that's if we had a real media. That's if we lived in reality.
You don't.
Lived in the corrupt clown world now.
Well, is that the name of the studio? I mean, every studio should have a nickname. I'm still trying to come up with one for mine.
So Biden only trails Trump by 10.
Sometimes he gets a itch right where his RFID chip was inserted. It happens.
Points on the approval rating scale. It's only going to continue to go down.
It's only going to continue to go down. I'm fine.
Down as gas prices continue to go up.
Yeah, gas prices. You don't have to tell me. At this point, that's what we're going to have to do. That's what's happening.
And the consumer price index continues to go up. So what do you do? What do you do if you're the Democrats? You've just been caught red-handed stealing the 2020 presidential election. Do you really want to double down and steal it in the light of day again in the midterms? That might be your only choice. What do? You've tried all these things to see if you could activate voters to get to the polls, and they all kind of fell flat. Interest in Ukraine is down. They didn't really get many people to show up at Roe.
Interest in Ukraine is down.
First wage stuff. They're not ready to fully go national with a midterm campaign on pro pedophilia, like drag queen dance time for kids.
Yes, yet another talking point that is permeate everywhere. Imagine imagine if you will, the replacement for the drag queens everywhere reading stories to kids. It's all throughout the land, and you You can't even go to a library anymore without the whole place being run by drag queens who only will talk to 9-year-olds. Imagine that talking point being replaced with, hey, an infrastructure bill passed. We're getting rural broadband out here.
I mean, what else have they tried? What else have they tried in the last 12 months to try to activate voters that's just failed? They got the gun control issue. It's all fallen flat. It's all fallen flat. They're not producing numbers. They're not producing interest, and it's not going to produce voters. So now they're going back to January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even hide it anymore. They publish their plan on the front page of the New York Times. January 6th.
Wait, now see, they do this weird thing on the InfoWars thing where they loop you and you're watching the same shit. It's the same. They do this loop. What the hell is this? They do this every time. I'm beginning to think they have one of those algorithm, like those buttons you push that like makes a clip of a live show, and this is the glitch in it. Or maybe they do it on purpose.
Continue to do TV stunts for political points. Think about it. They have political prisoners right now that they're torturing in jail. The Democrats are.
No.
All for political points. That's how little they value human life.
Says the guy who thinks we need machine guns in preschools.
We all know about their abortion stance, but they're willing to torture people in cells for their own political points.
Also, torture people in cells? The fuck are you talking about? What torture? Actually, now that I think about it, what does a maggot consider like cruel and unusual punishment? They take away their Trump towel that they sleep with like a whoopee?
That's how sick the Democrat Party is. And the Republican Party just sits there and watches them. And Adam Schiff, the same guy who told you that he has proof of Russian collusion, multiple times Adam Schiff told you that he has the proof and he was going to show you the proof. He's yet to show that proof because he never had the proof, because there was no proof, because there was no Russian collusion. Adam Schiff is a liar. And now he says that he has proof of what on January 6th? I don't know. He just says, we've got new evidence. There's a great deal they haven't seen. Oh, you're right. You're right. The general public hasn't gone into people's private emails and messages like you freaks have. That's true. Yes, the general public has not read through thousands of Americans' emails and texts like a bunch of sycophant, psychotic freaks like you, Adam Schiff. You're right.
Wait, they're not just going through random people's emails, fucko. They're going through the emails of people who physically attacked cops on January 6th. Then this is in the same category, talk-wise, of when they say that like the FBI is going after parents for just caring what's going on in their school. Like, all right, did they go after everyone? No, they just went after Dave. What did Dave do? Oh, they threatened to blow up the school and kept calling the principal's house and saying you're going to die in flames and hanging up. Oh, all right. So not so much the parenting thing was the issue.
You're right, Adam Schiff. Most people don't go through people's private messages for their own political stunts. That's a you thing, Adam Schiff. That's a you thing. And where is your Russian collusion evidence, Adam Schiff? Oh, that's right. It doesn't exist. You lied about that, too. But I'm sure you're being honest about this, Schiff. So then I see this. New. The coming collapse of Donald Trump's January 6th conspiracy, Part 8, Ali Alexander. And I'm like, this...
Wait, I know Ali Alexander.
This is curious. I wonder what they're saying here.
Hey, this is curious. I wonder what they're saying here. I know Ali Alexander. We hang out all the time. Wait a minute. He's been giving his text messages? I was texting this fucker. What?
So I go to try to read this from Seth Abramson and, sorry, it's behind a paywall. The information is so important, folks. The information is so important. It's a matter of national security. It's so important that Seth Abramson wants you to pay $20 to read his story that I'm sure is a...
What kind of commie bullshit is this from InfoWars? I'm sorry, what was this about? Don't you have a membership-only version of the show and videos and stuff that you join InfoWars and you get... Oh, fuck, man.
Giant nothing burger So, man, I'm really curious. I want to find out, what did Ali Alexander do, Seth? Tell me.
Yes, I'm starting to get nervous because I was texting with him on January 5th.
Blocked by your paywall. Funny for a communist. Funny thing for a communist.
Well, he's not a communist. You seem to be the communist because you're the one balking at the paywall.
Funny thing indeed, but it's not working. Bloomberg Politics headline: voters aren't punishing GOP candidates over January 6th Capitol attack. But it's a peaceful protest when you burn and murder and rape and everything else you guys love to do.
They just love to do it. You know, it's just a hobby. You know what I mean? I think it should be all progressives apparently want to add all that stuff to the Olympics next year.
No, they're backing them. No, what the problem is the Democrats. That's your problem. Democrats are scumbag, lying, deceitful demons, and people realize that.
Wait a minute. Didn't you start this whole bullshit with they demonize people? And you just called every Democrat a demon. For the record, let's see. Obviously, do we have anybody who might have... Yeah. I'd like to have a word, if I may. Now, for the record, I have never voted for a Democrat in my life. I have only voted for Republicans repeatedly. And I don't mean over the years, although I have done that every time. I repeatedly in the same election. You see, I'm registered to vote in a cabin in North Carolina, but I mainly live out of my apartment in Jim Jordan's district, and then I summer near Mitt Romney's his automobile elevator that he has. It's enormous. It's like it's a gleaming skyscraper. I love the thing, of course, and I'm registered to vote in 4 different states. Under variations of my name, where like Beelzebub, like it goes through a different thing. Anyways, and I live in the villages for real. I spend most of my time there because I'm a sucker for a hot golf cart honey. Anyways, you were calling Democrats demons, and I was just saying that don't include me in that. I don't buy it. It's rude. You were saying Amish
now
youth pastor?
That has nothing to do with January 6th. Although I guess it does, because what you're doing over January 6th is so criminal and so dangerous. Even Tulsi Gabbard gets it. Tulsi Gabbard shreds Biden administration. They
even Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, when Tulsi Gabbard has turned against you, what is there left? I mean, she's been the stalwart supporter of the Democrats as a all right.
Weaponize government against the people, but it's actually worse than that.
Shreds Biden administration. They weaponize government against the people. Oh, it's
Tulsi
from Infowars.
They weaponize the government against their political opposition.
Oh, he made a note against the people. He goes and he changed it. The Infowars. He was making notes on the Infowars. So holy shit, is this? The articles from then, this looks like a picture from the presidential debates.
So yeah, it's
the Democratic
against we the people. It's against their political opposition. They've turned the government into a force for their agenda, for their party politics.
Terrible.
And then again, the Proud Boys. There are more charges against the Proud Boys. What about Black Lives Matter and Antifa that are responsible for the largest, most dangerous, murderous, and expensive riots in U.S. history? Anything for them? No.
Well, yeah. DOJ. Yeah, actually, a lot of them are arrested and are staying in jail, and the organizations themselves didn't organize the riots per se. Antifa is different, I suppose. You'd have to talk to Portland about that. But as far as BLM goes, that was those were the protests, not the riots. But you know what? You're right. Why do we make a distinction between peaceful protesters and the ones that become violent? Why do we let the BLM protesters off the hook for what the rioters did. I think you're right. You know what? One standard for all, and therefore everyone that was at the Trump gathering that led to, even if they left and weren't part of the actual attack on the Capitol, I think you're right. They all need to go to jail. How about that? If that's the standard you're setting.
GA, FBI, no, they're not interested.
No, it's not interested. Except if you go to their website and they show the people they're still looking for or the people that they've arrested. You can't read that shit on InfoWars. This guy looks like he's looking for argument fuel amongst a bunch of random papers that somebody set down. I know I had a point here somewhere.
Not interested. And
that was a solid one.
Most dangerous, murderous, and expensive riots in U.S. history. Anything for them? No. DOJ, FBI? No, they're not interested. Not interested. And we've got more footage now of the police murdering Roseanne Boylan that day. And so everything they tell you about January 6th is a lie, but the Democrats still believe all the lies, even though all the people that died
Roseanne Boylan
that day were Trump supporters killed by police, including an unarmed woman. Normally the liberals would care about that, but not in this case. This case, they're glad she's dead.
Yeah, that's what we do. Just, mainly not because she's a woman even, but because she was unarmed. I think that's I think I was personally offended that she would call her. It's more like it's like a branding thing, How dare you be a maggot and attack the Capitol and not be armed? Oh, she had a backpack full of for like provisions and weapons so that she could stay and hold people off in the Capitol. Oh, that's where. Okay. And she may have had a gun after all. And there were guns nearby that they were going to send the signal like, it's working, go get them. We're ready to hold the place. We've got the volume of people. We've routed them, and you'll start bringing guns in, and we'll have this big violent sit-in, and we'll execute who we want to kill. Like, that part didn't. Okay. I think it's a matter of the unarmed part of it. By the way, you're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. We do the full. Hold on 1 second. We do the whole clip, whether we like it or not. Even when they repeat. I got this for my kid, and it was in his toy box. We were cleaning it out, and we just forgot how fun it was. Fart gun. And I have to say, yes, a backpack full of soup for her family. Yes, a cache of automatic rifles, exactly. And semi-automatic rifles. Now, there was a video. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Thank you for liking, subscribing, supporting the show, Venmo, that kind of stuff. patreon.com/HalSparks. Think about it. When you think about it, you're like, nah, that's okay. I appreciate the thought. It's the cash that counts. I'm kidding. All right. So, yesterday, because I had to cut the show short because I had a Nerd Halen show, which was awesome. I showed a video that I wanted to cover because it had all the markings of a perfect description of the self-involved bullshittery of one Glenn Beck. Here, seen broadcasting live from his Tucson rec room where he pretends to paint, where he literally went to one of those stores that sells stuff that, like, if you were an alien and you needed to pretend to have a personality, they could supply you with one. You could just buy, this is a rug that will make it seem like you have traveled. Here are pillows to match. Also a dog picture. Also, very popular is a Coca-Cola item from the early 50s or 60s. Also, here's some fishing gear that is unusable but looks well used. Here is a giant word that we don't know why it applies. Does it say sport? Does it say spurt? Only you really know for sure. Here are some skis that are too old for you to have ever used, but just real enough to make people snicker at the idea of you trying to ski. So this is and again, I think this is that part's new, this blanket part of it, and whatever this plug is over here, that's changed. But so this is called Glenn's Solar Panel Nightmare Could Be Biden's Future for America. So solar is a problem. Such a problem that Glenn Beck apparently tried to go solar, and it was a nightmare.
Growing fascistic movement with actual teeth attached to it.
Oh no. I hate being gummed by fascists.
This isn't like, oh, he's a fascist. I will show you what they're doing that is literally fascistic in nature.
Literally fascistic in nature. There's a lot of couching in those phrases. It's literally, figuratively something that might be nothing but could be.
Literally, by the actual dictionary definition of the word fascism.
Which I'm sure you'll bring up.
Let me start with this. If we were building nuclear power plants and we were encouraging hydrogen use for our automobiles, I would be so deep into it. It is the answer. Between nuclear power, which is the cleanest and safest form of energy the world has ever seen. Stu, can you back that up? The safest.
Well, except for the bombs made from the byproduct. I mean, if you want to talk thorium reactors, or you want to find a way to make sure people, if you don't include the weapons, sure.
Form of energy in the history of the world.
Yes, I agree with that analysis.
Yes. Better than French fry grease, Stu? Better than natural gas? That was wrong. I went too far. I had to clean up my pants.
Okay, thank you for the stats.
You just said it was the safest.
Color man. He's a good color
Yes, Glenn.
Oh, he's a color man.
Confirmed number one on the list. I don't know what stat you want to. It's number one.
No, because I know.
Look. I know my job here, Glenn. It's just whatever you say, agree with it. I get it. I can only agree so much when you say such rando bullshit.
I know you're into these things.
Yeah. I know you're into these things. Yeah. How do you fit it in, Stu? With all the time you spend in your day working out.
No, I know you're into these things, and I know that that you have looked through the history. Everybody thinks it's so dangerous, but it is not.
Yeah.
It's not dangerous, especially.
Well, no, it is dangerous, but it's mitigatory danger. And compared to the danger of the impact of the climate of petrochemicals and fossil fuels, it's superior. And if we had advanced it in a way that we weren't trying to make weapons grade plutonium and uranium out of these reactors to make bombs, that arguably they'd be a huge negative would be taken off the list.
In the United States. So if we were pursuing this and opening these babies up and letting them run at full capacity at night, and when nobody's using electricity, making hydrogen for our cars, it would be a miracle. It would be a miracle. It would be everything we're looking for.
No, nuclear diamond batteries from carbon-14 left over from both fossil fuel plants and nuclear reactors. That would be the miracle. It's a 28,000-year battery that runs on its own. It doesn't have to be charged because it is charging. It is emitting. Never mind.
Good for the planet, safe, effective,
and by the way, Glenn's been watching some of my videos.
And we could move on with our lives. We would be world leaders.
Glenn, you're never going to move on with your life. Even if that happens, you're never going to move on, Glenn.
Again,
you make a living as Chicken Little. You have monetized doom scrolling amongst a small sliver of the populace, and you got to milk that sucker till it's dry.
Almost everything, if we just did that. But that's not what we're doing. Instead, we are doing solar panels and wind power.
By the way, we're not just doing solar panels and wind power. Hold on. Hold on one second. Hold on. I've got it. I'm getting shut off by. Here you go. Just in case. It just gets,
Let me tell
you this.
you about solar panels.
All right. They're full of chemicals. They're made in China. They're created by the tears of Uyghurs.
If solar panels were something that would work,
If solar panels were something that would work, all right. Solar efficiency trend. Oops, hold on one second. Hold on. What? I'm getting scholarly articles. If solar energy was something that could work, if it could work, scientists keep on pushing the efficiency of solar panels higher and higher. And there's a new record to report. A new solar cell has hit 39.5% efficiency under standard 1 sun global illumination conditions. That 1 sun marker is simply a standardized way of measuring a fixed amount of sunlight when you're not on Tatooine. And almost 40% of that radiation can now be converted into electricity. The previous record for this type of solar panel material was 39.2% efficiency. There are more types of solar panels around than you might have realized. The type used here, triple junction 3V tandem solar cells, are often deployed in satellites and space vehicles, though they have plenty of potential here on solid ground as well. The new cell is more efficient and has a simpler design and may be useful for a variety of new applications, such as highly area-constrained applications or low-radiation space applications. The triple junction part of the equation is part terms of the efficiency of the solar cell. Each junction concentrates on a particular part of the cell. I'm not telling Glenn anything he doesn't know.
I'd be all for solar panels.
What's the tipping point? How much expended energy versus captured energy is necessary from use point, including deaths over fossil fuels, for example? That would be, where's the tipping point for Glenn? What do you think? 18%? What's the thermal calories or whatever per megawatt or whatever what's his standard?
This broadcast is being powered now by solar, wind, and natural gas.
See that? I mean, I was wondering what Glenn was going to do for Pride, and his show seemed more commie and gay, and honestly more minority and abortion-y. And I think that's why. I think all his message is being filtered through it's sun-powered now. And like he is, so the blaze is off the grid using current technology. What the fuck? He's got solar wind.
by solar, wind, and natural gas. Natural gas only if we get into trouble and we don't have.
Well, obviously, so you're running, breaking, the Glenn Beck show is running on 100% natural gas. Thanks, Stu. Thanks for pulling.
Have enough power for the broadcast. But it has taken me 11 very long and expensive years to get the solar panel system up.
Fucko, the technology is behind in its advancements because Jimmy Carter put solar panels on the White House and Reagan took them off. If the advancements that we're making in solar cells are not because of AI or some giant advancement in computer technology. There's some minor tweaks. You're talking about they're getting into the narrow areas where it's making the 0.2% difference. But the huge advances that brought it from like 8 to 12% efficiency to 25% to 30% efficiency, that all could have been done in the 80s. But somebody stepped on the hose on purpose. Same thing with electric cars. Most of the advances in battery technology and all the stuff that goes with it, we'd be friggin' 20 years ahead of where we are. Brains haven't changed in size, except yours, Glenn, it's clearly gotten smaller and less walnutty, smoother.
And hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is not something the average American.
Why didn't you build your own nuclear hydrogen plant? Is it your penis? It's because your penis doesn't work anymore, isn't it? It's gotten smaller. It's probably the soy. Talk to Alex Jones. He's got a pill for it. It won't work, but you can take it. Maybe it'll have the placebo effect. You can both cry.
Or the average company can do.
Well, yeah. If you were an early adopter, I guess, and you weren't trying to get off the grid because you thought the world was ending. The rest of us are like, no, the world's going to stick around, and I hope it gets cheaper and more advanced. That'd be nice. I have solar panels on my house. My house is being powered by solar.
I'd love to have the Blaze be the first green network that would.
No, you don't, because that's them's fighting words. And again, why is Stu not tinkering with a thorium reactor right now? Cut to Stu, just bzzzt, bzzzt.
Was all solar energy and wind power, but it's impossible to do.
Right.
It's too expensive.
Well, yeah, but it's getting cheaper all the time because of investment and advances. You know what was expensive in the beginning too? Cars. Yeah, that's right. Glenn, I don't know if you know, but there was a time when only rich people could afford cars for a very long time. And they drove like 8 gallons to the mile. Yeah. Stories like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang came out of that. Yeah, it was one-of-a-kind vehicles. That was it. And then we reached a point where poor people have multiple cars. I knew people who had pieces of cars hanging from trees in front of their house. Not just the tires, but the engine block as well.
And it's not reliable. I can't tell you how, if you are listening to this.
Well, yeah, if this show is any indication, Glenn, whatever you're doing, it's unreliable.
Broadcast today.
Why is Glenn Beck dressed like an early 2000s rapper? It's I don't know. This is like because his cowboy hat was in the cleaners and he was doing Cowboy Angel Glenn Beck.
You're hearing delays, and the reason why you're hearing delays is I don't have internet.
The fuck does that have to do? What?
I'm here on an isolated kind of mountaintop.
Yes, you chose to be off the grid, and therefore you do not benefit from the grid.
And I don't have all of the electricity, all of everything coming in.
Dude, okay, well, here's a good idea. Turn off the sports sign and turn on your router. How about that? We got 6 of one, half dozen of another. You got every light in the place on. Why are you in 2 rooms doing the show? What the What? Why is Stu in the studio with all those goddamn screens on? And
I have to create everything myself.
boo, fuckity hoo. No, you don't.
So we're having to use all kinds of different technology. And let me tell you, when you come off the grid, when you start to do things differently,
it requires more effort. Yeah, fuck you. You got off the grid too early. So what? No. I want to live in an underground bunker. No. Where I can hide and hunker. No. I eat chicken, salt, and pepper. Oh, no. I got blues because I'm a prepper. That's right. I got the prepper blues. Yeah. I went off the grid too early this time. How. Oh, yeah. I got them prepper blues. And I got this long, creamy, poorly formed poos. That pancake batter get me every time, all right?
you almost have to reinvent everything.
Yes. You obviously, Glenn bought that sports sign, for example, but he didn't buy the lit one, the old one, because it had lights on the inside of it. So he decided to get his own light rope from Home Depot and line it up himself. And obviously, he did this himself because it started to drop. The double-sided tape got heated up because he got the old LEDs. Fucking, when you don't want to participate in society, it's fucking rough.
Right now, my farm, we bought our diesel fuel for our tractors.
How dare you? You bought diesel fuel? What kind of off the grid is this? You're engaging in commerce with external sovereign entities? What's wrong? You can't grow a diesel cow and milk it?
We spent filling that tank up, that underground tank.
Uh-huh.
We spent as much money filling it up once this spring as we spend filling it up all summer long into the fall last year.
Yeah, because everything was extra cheap. And wait a minute. You're just burning diesel like on what? What are you doing with these tractors now? What are you doing, wheelies?
This cannot last.
No, I agree. I think Operation Hollowed Out Volcano for Glenn Beck has been a massive failure.
But is Biden doing anything about it? No.
No, he's not doing anything about fuckers who want to be off the grid. He's too busy trying to fix the grid. He literally passed an infrastructure bill to improve the smart grid dum-dum so that people who have a lot of solar panels in their states can sell some of the energy. Windy states with a lot of wind and natural gas can sell it to states that, I guess, wherever the fuck you are, the only mountaintop that's in total darkness with no wind.
No. Instead, what he is doing is fascistic.
Oh, okay. Fascistic. He's fascisting. What is he doing? And we're back to the definition of this. Fuck me. What is he talking about? Again, it's like a sovereign citizen bitching they can't get a credit card. Like, motherfucker, you want to be an isolated human, not attached to the government or the country that you live in. You want all the rights and privileges and none of the responsibilities. And suddenly it's our fucking fault? Asshole, you left. Glenn's like a little kid standing at the end of the driveway with a suitcase going, I'm running away.
Yesterday, he invoked the Defense Production Act.
Uh-huh.
Not for oil, not for diesel, not for anything, but for solar panels. Do you know how long and how much money it will take to get solar panels, enough of them, into play to defray any of your costs for heating. By the way, if you live in...
Yeah, it's not for that purpose, dummy. He released gas from the strategic reserves. They're talking to other countries about raising production. He's allowing drilling on public lands. This is the fascist part. So he's fascistically, because government and industry, right? I don't think, hold on. It's this, or break the back of working people with the cost of the removal of Russian oil and gas, because the rest of the world is buying oil and gas like crazy. And when you do it on public lands versus private lands, we get more of it. It goes, a percentage of it goes into the strategic reserves, fills that back up, and can be released to lower the price if this continues on at a pace for a time. I don't think Glenn's going to bring up this. Do you think? Think he's going to factor this in? Nah. This is the fascist solar. Remember Hitler's big solar push? It was right after he tried to get everybody to go
Seattle,
vegan.
Fat chance.
Sorry. Right. Seattle's too misty and
for heating. Mm-hmm. By the way, if you live in Seattle, fat chance. Good.
Excuse me. Stu is sitting right there.
Luck to you. You live where it's cloudy and snowy?
No, only if you're off the grid and not participating in America with your neighbors. Then it'll be harder because you'll be completely off the grid. Meanwhile, Here's why we know Glenn's an asshole, but why he's comically an asshole in this conversation. Yeah, Biden's all busy trying to fix the grid for all the Americans that are participating in the country together, but he's totally lost the prepper vote, apparently. Fat chance. DOE, Department of Energy, launches new initiative from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law to modernize the national grid. The U.S. Department of Energy launched a Building a Better Grid initiative to catalyze the nationwide development of new and upgraded high-capacity electric transmission lines, as enabled by President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law. Building a Better Grid will work with community and industry stakeholders to identify national transmission needs and support the build-out of long-distance, high-voltage transmission facilities that are critical to reaching Biden's goal of 100% clean energy by 2035 and a zero-emissions economy by 2050. The program will make the U.S. power grid more resilient to the impacts of climate change, increase access to affordable and reliable clean energy, create good-paying American jobs across industry sectors, boosting transmission jobs, which employs over 1 million workers across the country. The foundation of our climate and clean energy goals is a safe, reliable, and resilient electrical grid that is planned hand in hand with community partners and industry stakeholders. I guess that's the fascist part. DOE's new Building a Better Grid initiative is a jobs booster spurred by the bipartisan infrastructure law, and because it became and collaboration with communities to upgrade the nation's grid, connect more Americans to clean electricity and broadband, and reliably move clean energy to where it's needed most. So if you're in a state with natural gas or wind, that can be energy can be transmitted to I guess Seattle and the Yukon or whatever.
Good luck.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Thanks, Glenn. Normally he's so rude.
I have these gigantic solar panels to be able to put this broadcast in my house online. And you still have to change all the light bulbs. You have to change everything. It is literally I might.
He's going LED. That's what he said. I can't use this old inefficient bullshit. Meanwhile, he's got every fucking light on in the place. Please show the studio that's also running at the same time. Same thing.
My grandfather. You don't need that light. Why do you have that light on, Grandpa? It's really not.
Right. Yes, you're onto something. Glenn, you have just stumbled on an actual thought. Your grandfather used to tell you to turn the goddamn lights off because power was limited, because back then we didn't have all the structures that we had. They had to build them over time, and they were inefficient and expensive at first, and then they got cheaper and more resilient, and we're still improving on it. And solar and wind and geothermal and all these things are exactly in that same place. There's huge advances being made all the time, and they're going to continue. But until they get here, you have to live in the present.
Not costing us. Put the light off.
This is supposed to be a cute story, but what Glenn doesn't know oftentimes is that when he goes into anecdotes, these anecdotes show you what an ignorant asshole he is.
I've become that guy.
Right. And because, not because it was a big deal that your granddad acted like that, but because up till now, Glenn, you didn't give a shit.
Because you just run out. In the winter, you have to go out and you have to scrape all of the ice and the snow off of your solar panel.
No, you don't. You can get heaters on it that run off a battery that's attached to the solar panel that takes an element of the energy from them and uses that. Look who I'm talking to, Mr. SATs.
This is not something America is prepared to do.
No, it's something we're preparing to do. It's like saying, imagine this dude with a horse going, I went to buy oats, and I used to be able to just pick them up and feed them right to my horse. Now it's super expensive because they want everybody to have these cars, and you have to go to a gas station to put fuel in these things. People can't do. There are no gas stations anywhere around here, and there won't be for a long time. And yet they want us.
But because
they want us to take these, like they keep talking about trains. So I moved someplace where there are no tracks.
We have a global warming crisis and a power crisis that is growing. Yesterday, Biden invoked something for the second time in his term that hasn't been used since the Korean War.
The National Chopsticks Initiative. I think it's a healthier way to eat. I'm not anti-fork per se, but it seems weird to eat with farming implements. You got a little saw, a pitchfork, and a shovel. It's a weird way to get food in your face. If you can't hold it in those two sticks, it's too big a bite. Slow down. Chew your food.
It is the Defense Production Act.
Yeah, we know.
And here's what it does.
It basically turns him into the solar version of Mussolini.
It allows the president to have emergency powers
that allow him to fly and see through stuff, and he's bulletproof.
To tell companies exactly what they can and cannot do. That is the definition of fascism.
Well, no, because the DPA is temporary. And it's not permeate across an entire thing. They ramp up production. You can't tell them that they can't build that. It allows you to allocate money to get them to focus more on a product we need more of. Dear God.
Definition of fascism. Now, are we
I'm the power of that gun is going to my head. I'm just saying.
Okay with that?
Yeah, we're fine. We'll be okay. Hold on. Let me see. I have to see. Was he at least wearing the Hitler mustache or the Mussolini hat when he did it? Folks, Biden invokes Defense Production Act to boost domestic manufacturing in clean energy grid sectors. Oh, I thought it was just solar panels. The U.S. Department of Energy aims to build up domestic production of solar panels, electric transformers, heat pumps, insulation, and hydrogen-related... Oh, wait the fuck. What? Oh, dear Glenn. Honestly, he literally started like, I'd be totally for it if it was hydrogen and nuclear. And okay. But he's using the DPA to make solar panels. This is never going to work. Under the Defense Production Act, or DPA, sounds kind of dirty. Determinations issued Monday by the White House. The DOE could support these sectors through commitments to buy clean energy products from U.S. manufacturers, direct investments in facilities, and aid for clean energy installation in homes, military sites, and businesses. Charisma Troiano, Department press secretary, said in an email, the Biden administration's move to use its executive power is a game changer that will establish and bolster a manufacturing base to support the renewable energy transition, according to Jean Su, Energy Justice Program Director at the Center for Biological Diversity, which is a series of words that scare the crap. Center, which is politically a nightmare for Glenn, biological, which sounds dirty, body part, penisy, and diversity, which is, that's a 4-letter word in Glenn's house. The DPA, which President Biden has invoked to spur COVID-19 vaccine and electric battery production, so the third time not the second. You lied, Glenn. He said twice. It's the third time, which means it's the charm. Allows the White House to coordinate with industry to obtain supplies that are deemed to be in the interest of national defense, according to Sue. The White House issued similar DPA determinations for the solar, hydrogen, heat pump, insulation, and grid equipment sectors, ensuring a robust, resilient, and sustainable domestic industrial base. Basically, it's because we passed the infrastructure bill and we don't want to buy the parts that we're going to be installing outside the country, and these people have to be paid ahead of time to start ramping up production in the United States for the supplies they're going to need for the infrastructure bill. And then, yes, this is all good, adult, normal shit. Congress has appropriated about $888 million in DPA funding through the fiscal year 2022 appropriations measures and a Ukraine aid package approved last month, according to Sue. It's obviously not enough, Sue said, noting the Center supports pending legislation that would provide $100 billion in DPA funding to the clean energy sector. The exact tools and mechanics of the programs will vary by technology, market, and funding appropriated by Congress. DOE, working closely with the Department of Defense and others, will lean on its significant experience procuring energy products and distributing, installing, or selling clean energy technologies. That's right. It's all communism. It's all fascism. It's fascist, communist, socialist, gay minority, Burning Man, tattooed, vegan nonsense.
Is this what we want?
This is what you want. This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. This is what you want. This is what you get. Sorry. I'll stop.
A guy who has destroyed everything he has touched, now running our companies and our businesses.
Oh, dear God. He's running our companies and he's not just directing the Defense Production Act to order more things to be made from companies that make them. I'm sure he'll show us an article where companies are being forced to stop what they're doing and build what we want.
And
forcibly, even if they were making more money selling the other shit.
Telling us what we can and cannot produce.
Yes. The people from the DPA showed up and they want to DP your egg, Glenn.
That's what he did yesterday.
Mm-hmm. All my troubles seem so far away.
He also did something else.
Mm-hmm.
He waived all of the solar tariffs yesterday. This is a massive win for China. China makes most of the.
Oh, there we go. Hold on. Whoops. Biden waives solar panel tariffs, seeks to boost production in the USA. President Joe Biden is invoking the DPA to increase U.S. manufacturing of solar panels while declaring a 2-year tariff exemption on panels from Southeast Asia. He's attempting to jumpstart an industry key to his climate change fighting goals that advocates say has been disrupted by a federal investigation. What? The White House announced Monday that the movers are being implemented using executive actions and presidential proclamations. They follow months of complaints by industry groups which argue that the solar sector is being slowed by supply chain problems due to an ongoing Commerce Department inquiry into possible trade violations involving Chinese products. The Commerce Department announced in March that it was scrutinizing imports of solar panels from Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia, concerned that the products from those countries are skirting U.S. anti-dumping rules that limit imports from China. So they're worried that China is actually selling through them, and they wanted to clarify them. What and the holds are on these countries. The innocent until proven guilty is basically the point they're trying to make. White House officials say Biden's actions aim to increase domestic production of solar panel parts, building installation materials, high-efficiency heat pumps, and other components like cells used for clean energy-generated fuels. They called the tariff suspension affecting imports from Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia a bridge measure while other efforts increase domestic solar power production, even as the administration remains supportive of U.S. trade laws and the Commerce Department investigation. Solar energy companies get fucking hell. Like, they don't even... I mean, for the record, Glenn's house is covered in old Chinese solar panels he bought on the cheap. He bought the large ones, the industrial ones from China, because he thought he was making a deal and they suck. And buying American ones would be kind of a betrayal of, and allowing the Green New Deal to dig its claws into him. Fucking hell. Like that. Listen to this again. Who's this a big gift for? You prick, you.
For China tariffs yesterday. Mm-hmm. This is a massive win for China.
Oh, yeah? Because the tariffs he's waiving are on Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia.
China makes most of the solar panels.
Yeah, except the ones that are made in Thailand, Malaysia, Vietnam, and Cambodia.
Okay?
Okay?
They do most of the technology.
They do most of the technology.
Why?
Why? Cheap labor?
Because no matter what anybody tells you, solar energy is very dirty for the earth.
It's dirty. Spanks the earth. Open palm, just whack.
You can't really make them here in America.
Yes, you can.
Because the EPA would lose their mind.
U.S. solar panel manufacturers updated for 2020. Here's a list of companies with solar panels made in the USA in 2020. Hylene, Iron Mountain, Minnesota. Yeah. Mission Solar in San Antonio, Texas. Seraphim in Jackson, Mississippi. Slilflab? Get out of here. Slilflab Solar. Bellingham, Washington. Solaria, Fremont, California. Solar Tech Universal. Riviera Beach, Florida. Solar World Americas. That sounds lovely. Hillsboro. It's where we can all go get our balls tanned in Solar World Americas. America ball tanning first. Sunspark. Oh, I like them. Riverside, California. There you go. Right, they're nearby. I could drive out there to Sunspark. Tesla, Panasonic, Buffalo, New York. Other notable American solar companies. Oxen Solar, San Jose. Certainteed Solar, San Jose. CSUN, McClellan Park, California. First Solar, Perrysburg, Ohio. And Ohio, we got to shut that one down. Clearly, that's got to be moved to Mexico as quickly as possible. Global Solar, Green Brilliance, Hanwha Q Cells in Dalton, Georgia. The only one with a Chinese name, all right, is in Georgia. Marge, explain yourself. Green Brilliance, Jinko Solar, LG Solar USA in Huntsville, Alabama, home of Rocket City, where Werner von Braun, the Nazi scientist who helped us build some rockets, was shuffled off to, with the other Operation Paperclip Nazis who were trying, well, I mean, they weren't Nazis. They were German scientists forced to work for the Nazis who were trying to escape, and we gave them, a place to live and work without having to live with that crap. And by the way, they enjoyed Huntsville because it looks like Deutschland in the springtime. That's a true story, and it does. Insofar as I know, I've never been to this place before. I've been to Deutschland in the springtime. I've only been there into like the winter and the late summer. But okay. Just the important thing is you guys need to remember, you can't make solar panels in America because Mr. Peck will show up, and you can believe Mr. Pecker. My name is Peck, and he'll stop you. He'll shut you down.
But in China, you can do whatever you want.
Well, I mean, except use the rest of the world's internet, speak your mind, and mention Tiananmen Square and say that Taiwan's a country. And if you're Uyghur, leave wherever you are.
So
and get real baby food.
Now they have not only most of all of the minerals that are needed to make these solar panels.
Fuck, this is just dumb. Let's see. One moment. I mean, now I have to set something else up too. No, I don't want molds. I just want. I gotta show because this is good. Most of the and I'll back it up too because this is really good. Say this part, the dumb part again. That's the wrong kind. Hold on. Oh, quit it! I can't type when I'm in a hurry. Okay, I found it. This is good. All right. Say that again, Glenn. Just catch us up, buddy.
China, You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, buddy. They're freer than we are. We live in China right now, except they have the better version of it because it's with Chinese characteristics.
So now they have not only most of all of the minerals that are needed to make these solar panels.
Most of all of the minerals that are needed to make these. The first generation of solar photovoltaic modules was made from silicon with a crystalline structure, and silicon is still one of the widely used materials in solar photovoltaic technology. The research on silicon materials is constantly growing, which is mainly focused on improving its efficiency and sustainability. Monocrystalline and multicrystalline silicon are the two most basic types of crystal silicon used in solar photovoltaics. Amorphous silicon, and then you go to cadmium and tellurium are also used to develop solar photovoltaics. They're mixed in a specific ratio to develop cadmium and telluride solar cells and are considered the most effective thin film material due to their ideal band gap of 1.45 eV and longer stability. Aluminum, antimony, and lead are also used in solar photovoltaics. Okay, that's your primaries, okay? This is you primarily going to see. All right. Solar cell production from silicon wafer to... from what? In our earlier article about the production cycle of solar panels, we provided a general outline about the standard procedure to make solar PV modules from the second most abundant mineral on Earth, quartz. In chemical terms, quartz consists of combined silicon-oxygen tetrahedra crystal structures of silicon dioxide, the very raw material needed for making solar cells. The production process for raw quartz to solar cells involves a range of steps, starting with the recovery and purification of silicon, followed by slicing into utilized discs, the silicon wafers that are further processed and ready to assemble for solar cells. I'm just a cell. Yes, I'm only a cell, but I'm no use to Glenn on the hill, where he is buying diesel gas and it ain't doing the job today. All right. It's fucking... the primary ingredient in solar cells is the... Fuck, man. It is the second most abundant material on Earth next to carbon.
They can make them with slaves.
They can make them with slaves. I don't think you can convert a slave into silicon. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, if they do, you can't sell them over here, fucko. As a matter of fact, the fact that they can't might keep them from using those slaves to do it. On December 23rd, 2021, President Biden signed into law a bill and a law that could have been passed while Trump was in office and he just didn't give a fuck. The Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, a bipartisan bill to ensure that goods made with forced labor in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region of the People's Republic of China do not enter the United States market. The law is a direct response to reports of Uyghurs and other Turkic minorities being subjected to forced labor, slavery, and other atrocities, and is to prevent U.S. businesses and consumers from becoming complicit in the atrocities. Earlier this year, the U.S. Senate Department recognized the atrocities against the Uyghurs as genocide and crimes against humanity. And yeah, that's cotton. That picture right there, yeah, if you want, I mean, Uyghurs are picking cotton. You were saying, Glenn?
And they can make them in hellholes that they don't care about the environment at all.
What you mean, like Ted Nugent's house?
But
Hal, check out perovskite. Yeah, Drywit Geek, we've talked about perovskite solar cells once before. It's amazing. It's a huge step forward. But That's for day one Dry Wit Geek when we're making sense. We're talking to Glenn Beck right now. This is all jackassery and gibberish. Do you realize that everyone who normally watches The Blaze threw their television out the window or whatever device they use to watch this nonsense on as soon as he said it was powered, the Blaze is powered by solar?
We had some really bad tariffs against these solar panels, and so now we have to get rid of those.
No, these are unrelated, different countries. They were suspecting that China was just shipping through these countries using leverage instead of us buying the ones that are made in these actual countries. The Biden administration is giving them the benefit of the doubt in those countries because even if they get a tariff from, they have to pay to pretend they're going through Cambodia. They have to pay the Cambodians to do that. Arguably, that eliminates any profit they might make off of lowering the labor costs by doing awful anyway. So it's counterproductive for them to keep doing it. It would change their labor practices and cause them to move in a positive direction in theory anyways. And the removal and the tariffs that were placed is based on the suspicion that they're doing it. We don't actually know. But Glenn doesn't actually read this shit. What is he going to do? Ask Stu?
So now the Chinese have us by the you-know-what on solar panels.
That sounds like it would burn. You mean like this? This is, by the way, this is live footage of an autonomous robot STEM acting on behalf of the Chinese government, meeting with the U.S. trade representative from the Department of Energy, and just saying. Yeah, it's a good point, Abraham. I don't know why Biden just doesn't fire up the Jewish space lasers on the moon and just heat up the moon and turn it into another sun so that we always have light 24/7. I mean, obviously all the plants would die, but we'd have more solar energy so we could eat fake plants.
Russia has us buy the same things now on energy.
I'm trying to make that sentence make sense. It just doesn't.
Mexico, Saudi Arabia.
Oh no, not Mexico. That's a different kind of energy. You'll have to talk to Don Jr. about that kind of energy.
And Russia have all of the control of the oil. And
no, they don't.
Are they helping us? Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, if only, good point, Glenn. None of these countries that produce oil are interested in helping us. It might actually behoove us to lower our need for fossil fuels that we get from other places, or even our participation in that world market, if we could generate all the energy that we have at home by renewable sources that don't fuck up our environment or ruin our waterways or make us have to bury the waste in Yucca Mountain for fucking 10,000 years.
Meanwhile, we leave all of our resources, all of our minerals, all of our companies, all of the brains that we have, all of the brawn that we have, all of the oil and natural gas resources.
Yeah, don't forget the baby batter in those freshly cooked nuts.
Sources in the ground.
How did we get our brawn and our brains and our balls in the ground? And also, the fuck we do.
Is America, is this who we want to become?
Yes, I agree. America, we don't want to become this farcical bullshit version of reality that Glenn Beck believes exists.
By the way, this is not the only emergency.
What? No, Glenn. No. This is the only emergency. Okay? Malaysian solar panels are coming into the country. Forget the caravan. Forget Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Forget a worldwide food epidemic that is going to wipe out 1 billion people. It's not important. Malaysian solar panels, Glenn. This is it. You got one job.
I'm telling you, I will be shocked if by the end of the
I'll be shocked if I pee on the transformer for my solar panels because they are clearly not insulated properly.
year we don't hear coming out of the president's mouth a declaration of a national global warming emergency. That will give him all kinds of power. They are already setting it up. That's what they're using here for this directive.
No, they aren't. That's not what they're using at all. They're speeding up production because solar panels are already being made in the world, and many of them are being made in China. They could be made here, but they need seed money for these factories to get up and running. And during the Trump administration, they intentionally stepped on that idea. So Biden's just making up for lost time from the Obama administration when they were trying to move in this direction. So he's just making up for he's picking up the slack, as it were. But the rest of this is just to build the grid and make sure that the stuff that we use to make all this, do all this stuff, the companies have a foothold. By the way, Glenn was gargling Elon Musk's nuts for weeks about the Twitter buy and all this stuff. And I would like to remind this dipshit that Tesla does not exist without the Obama administration's bailout of the auto industry after 2008, because the Obama administration insisted on supporting electric car manufacturers while they were bailing out Ford and Chevy and
A climate emergency. We're going to have a food emergency by the end of the year.
Yeah, I hear Sonic's not going to be open on Sundays anymore. It just tried to go after that MAGA dollar
As well. I don't know if you've been following this, but please do.
What am I following?
We're about now 8 weeks away from knowing for sure what's going to happen.
Oh, all right. Do tell. We're about 8 weeks away from knowing what's going to happen in 8 weeks. Isn't that true every 8 weeks? Unless you're psychic and always right.
Yesterday, we had
all your troubles seem so far away.
Russia bomb one of the ports where a lot of the Ukrainian wheat leaves.
Wheat. Fields of wheat.
NATO, the United Nations, and we have even hinted that if they block the Russian wheat, look at
this shitty solar show. Look at this. Wait, why is Glenn glitching, but the background is fine? Oh my God. Is this the day we all find out that Glenn Beck is actually an AI algorithm created character? And we all fell for it.
The Ukrainian wheat, steal the Ukrainian wheat, destroy the Ukrainian wheat, or stop boats from picking it up and shipping it to the rest of the world. That will be an act of war. Well, we are 12 weeks away from that. Sorry, 8 weeks now.
Oh, shit. I thought I had an extra month.
And the former NATO chief yesterday said, you are going to see another front open in the Ukrainian conflict. It will include escorting grain tankers in and out of Odessa. He said, I think that will be taken by the United Nations, by NATO, and the United States and our allies. But it will be a new front in the war that will emerge over the next few weeks.
Excuse me. It's precisely 8 weeks. Glenn said 12 weeks. 8 weeks.
When that happens, anything that goes wrong with that wheat.
Yeah. If the bread doesn't rise, if the biscuits aren't crispy, If they don't have that flakiness when you open them up and the steam comes out.
If Russia
Mushroom sauce.
doesn't let it out of Ukraine, if we lose a ship of that wheat,
Yeah, and so we need to make somebody write down, make sure all the captains know where they're going.
wheat
And they all, you know what you should do is get those little Apple tags. So in case we lose one of them, it can chirp. You can walk around going, and you're, like, there it is. I found the boat full of wheat.
prices will go
By the way, the Russian war on foodstuffs is a serious thing. I am, just to clarify, not joking about that. I'm joking about this asshole pretending that he knows any fucking thing about any of it or actually cares.
through the
This asshole wants to be off the grid in the United States. What the fuck are you talking about? What kind of pirate island, like Peter Thiel oil rig horse shit is this? You're an American. Act like it. We have nice things. Participate, help out, and stop being a dick.
the roof, and starvation will happen in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to our military when all of Africa is on fire because they're starving to death?
This is the day we all find out that Glenn thinks black people burst into flames when they're hungry. That's what caused the targets to burn down during the job. Oh, I figured it out. It all makes sense now. Thanks, Glenn.
Why is our government taking on diesel right now and saying, no, we got to get away from this petroleum stuff? Why are they doing it when starvation is around the corner?
Well, they aren't. Why do you think they are?
Because of war.
What? Okay, this is gotta be. He can't be this dumb. I mean, we know he's dumb, but he can't be this dumb. I mean, he dresses himself, and this is what he comes up with. So maybe I'm all right, but they literally hold on. They're not. They're reacting to what's actually happening in the world. They're not like, oh, well, that's it. You know what? Sorry. You just got to convert away from diesel overnight.
We cannot, as Americans, stand by.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're still an American? I thought you lived off the grid on a piece of ground away from everyone else because fuck the rest of us.
While the world starves, and we have the ability to do something about it. But for the very first time, we have seen now Germany send an airlift of baby food to Texas this week.
Right, because they didn't have a place shut down because of an outbreak of salmonella and what's the whole Bacter virus? I've got the name of the fucking drone stuck in my head. Michigan baby food outbreak. The Chronobacter, right? I thought it up right before I wait. Scrolling. Yep, Chronobacter. Sakazaki. Chronobacter Sakazaki. And salmonella, right? Yeah, see, the Germans didn't have that problem. So the Biden administration reached out to them until we can get this plant back up online. Then this plant's coming back online, and we arranged with them. We've helped them before too, you know. I'm just saying, Germany might owe us a favor.
And you're about to see the most charitable, the most giving, the most powerful nation on the planet not have the ability to help feed starving people all around the world.
Easy, Glenn. You talk like that, you're going to give Rand Paul an erection.
And I love the fact that the Biden administration is saying this is not going to affect the United States and the hunger here in the United States. Are you out of your mind? We're not going to be starving here in the United States.
Right.
But if you think that
you think you're going to have the kind of variety of Otter Pops that you're expecting, you're going to go to the store and Diet Dr. Pepper is going to miss some of its slight caramelized color when you hold it up to see what kind of nose it has. It's going to be that you can't expect, if you want flaming hot Cheetos, there's going to be something about it. There aren't going to be enough phosphates.
a third of the world could be starving to death, and we're going to be paying normal, even half rational prices for food, you're crazy.
Well, what's rational in a situation where there's worldwide starvation? And by the way, the fact that you fucking have food and you have a functioning society in that circumstance, count your goddamn blessings, you ingrate.
Oh, and by the way, it won't just be Africa. It will also be Central America. It'll be parts of Mexico and South America. So don't.
By the way, I know what chart he's talking about. Hold on one second. Let's see if the hold on. I saw it the other day. There's a specific, it's one that's been making the rounds. Global hunger index. Okay, and then the upside of it. Okay, the potential for the rush with here's the tracking global hunger thing. Or this is what he's talking about. This one right here. That this is where it's going to go into, and they're leveraging it. Let's see if they bring this up on any interactive map, traffic, world hunger, food insecurity, the varying degrees, the hunger map. I do this. Here you go. This is people. I mean, this is kept track of so that the UN, USAID, NGOs can help. Yeah, not that Glenn gives a rat's ass. Let's see, maps. Where's this guy? Maps. Okay, this has got to be in here. Hold on. Chronic hunger, fight to feed the world. Waste of life is only world. Okay, so they deal with this all the time. This is cool. This is a great organization. They're just basically tracking it all the time. But what they're worried about is any place that is conflict alerts, countries with greater than or equal to 1 fatality to 200,000 in the last 30 days. This purple. So this is where basically war-torn areas. These are always problems throughout here. That affected is Mexico because they just had a big shooting and yada yada. Countries with foreign cases, COVID, and then climate alerts, and then percentage of people living in areas with significant excess rainfall, which is interesting. Prevalence of insufficient consumption, current food consumption, rainfall. Okay. They have a breakout map of this that is basically saying that all these areas where you normally have this, here and here, Peru, Bolivia, this up through Central America over here, this line across Africa, and then over here in parts of Asia, that's where you're going to see the majority of the hunger issues. So that's what he's stop blaming. How to explain to a friend that soaring gas prices are the plan under ESG? Oh my God.
Worry about any problems on our border. This is what's coming, and it's coming this fall.
Coming this fall, the new NBC sitcom, Glenn at the Border, wondering where he can eat a diesel sandwich today. This whole thing is just Glenn buying into this off the grid idea and buying cheap secondhand shit or getting it rigged up by some asshole prepper friend that is convincing him that you got to be able to, I mean, if you really want to lock it down, you're going to need a diesel generator. That's the big shit because you can always get that. There are always going to be trucks. So he went with diesel instead of a fucking natural gas line or, or running too much off of geothermal. He wanted to live away from everything. So that's why he's not near any water.
Please, America.
Please, America. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm in the business of. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my job to please America. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. That was the end of that. Well, there was a little tad bit left, I don't think. Please, America. He was going to say something else.
Prepare.
Oh, man. He was watching the fucking clock. What a creep. Watch that. Look, he's got a clock on his desk that tells him when it's time to go to a hard break. Please, America, prepare. This is, again, he's a doom farmer. He's a fear farmer. That's he and Rusty Rockets. They're all in the same business.
This fall. Please, America, prepare.
Go to break. That's what he's pointing at. Go to break right when I say it, because I want it to be nice and dramatic before we sell my prepper food that will give you, breakaway diarrhea that'll wreck a chemical toilet. It's almost like fighting fire with fire. All right, I know I'm over time, but since I had a short show yesterday, I'm going to do one more segment real quick if I could, because I think it kind of lines up with the Jan 6 stuff, and I was very disappointed with InfoWars coverage today. I expected more from them. I don't know why, but I was hoping for at least them to be a little more incendiary, a little more, not so dull, I think, really. I just feel like I've seen it. So, Newsmax has Peter Navarro apparently telling the story. Peter Navarro recounts being arrested by FBI agents. Eric Bolling, the balance. And I don't know if Eric Bolling has the ability to balance. He doesn't look like it, but he also is always sitting down when I see him, so I can't be a judge. But we know the story. The story so far, Peter Navarro just didn't get the message that the FBI wanted to talk to him. He'd received the subpoena. He just did what we all do with subpoenas. It's like jury duty. We leave them on the dresser and we forget about it and we hope they never come and ask us. And you go about your business and you go, oh, that thing. I thought that was something else. And then, so he decided to leave town while he was being sought for a subpoena that he was actively avoiding. And they didn't like the sound of that because he was only footsteps away from the FBI building. So he could have just walked over there and went, hi, I got a subpoena. Is there somebody I can talk to or something? Thanks. Just to clear this thing up. I mean, it's like a ticket, right? And he didn't do it. So he ignored that and pissed off. And what ultimately happened? What happened? What happened? They went after him. They went and got him at the airport because the judge considered a guy who was wanted for a subpoena, was ignoring it actively, and had been belligerently following behind a guy who had avoided a previous subpoena, mainly Steve Bannon, who's also been charged. He was acting exactly the same way, and they were in cahoots together. They were actually named in the suit together. They were like, yeah, you can go get this guy. He counts as a flight risk. He might, he knows a guy who has a $1 billion yacht that can leave from wherever. I don't think he can leave from Tennessee. That would be work. But anyways, so this is Navarro telling us what it was like. Because apparently jackbooted thugs ran into the Southwest terminal, snatched him up, put him in leg irons, dragged him out of the airport as a message to everyone around him, according to Tucker Carlson. And then they threw him in jail. That was the quote. They threw him in jail. They fuck you at the drive-thru.
White House advisor Peter Navarro was arrested in a massive abuse of power on Friday, placed in handcuffs and shackles, a move reserved only for violent felons. By the way, Navarro was indicted for contempt of Congress without so much as a court order. The man himself, Peter Navarro, joins us now. He's the author.
Without even a court order. He joins us from a green screen balcony.
Of that book right there, Taking Back Trump's America. Peter, I am...
Yeah, that's the part where he admits to a lot of the shit that he's getting busted for.
So glad you.
And he's got a plug from the other dude who was indicted for avoiding a subpoena. Like, why don't you just, at this point, why don't you just call this book what it is? Exhibit A. All the Trump books written by people in the cabinet should just have an exhibit and a letter attached to it. Hope Hicks, Exhibit H.
You're here, and I see you standing in front of the Department of Justice. Yeah. And I got to ask you, will you take our audience through what happened at the airport on Friday? Because it just is appalling.
Okay. At the airport, you're at the airport on Friday. You're like, there's a coffee bean and there's a Starbucks. You're trying to decide, is it tea or coffee? You're worried about how much battery is left in your headphones, and do you get a charger, or do you think you have a plug in the bag that you brought, or do you get another? I'm telling you my life right now, aren't I?
Well, it's beyond appalling, Eric.
It's beyond appalling.
Let's start
at the airport
with Tuesday and leave.
All right, I'm gonna need some backstory to make the thing that happened that was very normal sound terrible.
Friday to get the quick backstory here.
Yeah.
I filed a civil suit against this kangaroo committee on Capitol Hill. That's held me in contempt with illegal and unenforceable subpoenas. Their mission.
Well, apparently not if they're illegal and unenforceable, because they used one on Steve Bannon and the court saw that differently.
Is not to get to the bottom of Jan 6. It's to stop Trump from running for president. Let's be clear about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they also want to bust the people involved. Let me be abundantly clear. This is not about solving a bank robbery and arresting the perpetrators. This is just about making sure that the guy who was in charge of the bank robbery team can't rob another bank. All right. This is about banks.
I filed that civil suit on
Tucker's coverage of this tops the charts. Right, Andy, Sarah.
Really key constitutional issues. That's my duty.
Yes, we know all about your duty.
To the commander-in-chief in this country. So I do that on Wednesday. I send...
just on Wednesday? So 1 day a week.
A letter to Patricia Alloy.
Oh, her. I mean, if you send it on Wednesday, that's her conspiracy to commit election fraud day. She's going to be out of the office.
Deputy attorney who's in charge of what's going to be this witch hunt. And I say, look.
What's going to be?
I'm in an...
So you're making it a witch hunt. Oh, you mean your lawsuit's a witch hunt? I see. Gotcha.
Untenable position. The Constitution and my duty says I got to do this. I'm looking for a modus vivendi. Call my attorney. Let's figure out a way that you can talk with President Trump, figure out a way to do this. And Eric, I call Walter Giordano. Who's he? He's the FBI agent that the week before had woken me up early in the morning, banging on my door with a subpoena. I said, Walter, I live right across the street. And I do, right across the street from the FBI. Hey, you need me? Just call me or come on over and whatever you need.
It's not to be interviewed by the FBI, fucko. They just delivered that part of it. You got to go to the committee. It's not he doesn't have a personal vendetta against you.
Peaceful, right? So on Thursday night,
why don't you do that with the committee then?
Instead of Patricia Lloyd calling my attorney, instead of Giordano calling me on the phone to voluntarily surrender.
Yeah, neither of those things need to happen or should happen.
They cook up the worst kind of shock and awe political theater.
The worst kind of shock and awe political theater. They came in through the ceilings.
Whereby they let me get up, have breakfast,
They let you get up and have breakfast. Was that the shock or the awe part? It was after the cup of coffee. That's what it was.
To the airport.
Right? Right.
And then take me down. Literally.
They took you down.
Literally take me down.
They took you down. Take me down, down, down. Now take me down. They took you down. Mm. Were they rough? Did they squeeze you? Did they have Russian hands and Roman fingers?
With 5 FBI agents, all 145 pounds of me, right?
Right. I weigh 20 pounds more than Peter Navarro. Jesus.
As I'm trying to board a plane to go on Mike Huckabee's show in Nashville.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they should know that. They're fans.
You know? So it's handcuffs first. The worst thing Giordana did, and I said,
was the strap on. That was what it was, wasn't it? I mean, it's bad enough when they give it to one of the FBI guys for the cavity search. It's even worse when they turn it inside out and strap it to you.
This to the magistrate.
Swing low, sweet chair, moon river. Whew. Thank you, Doc. Can't keep me here, Doc.
At my hearing.
Sorry, you can't keep me here, Chief. Maybe I'm not going to keep you here. Maybe I'm going to blow your brains out. Well, I am no lawyer, but I do believe that's a violation of my rights.
Is he would not let
Trollbot attack on YouTube. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Hold on one second. It happens, you know. Thanks for... Oh, by the way, you know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't thanked the trolls. Hi, trolls. You guys have helped us grow faster than almost any other aspect. We're about to hit 35.5 as far as subscribers. We're at 35,462, and a lot of that has to do with you guys. Now, excuse me while I'm working and talking, because I can do that. Let's see. Oh, hold on. I got to open this window. Open that window. Put this here. Carry the T. Look out this bitch. And I think I'll try to do that right. And I think, I mean, we've got pop out. Here we go. All right. Now I should be able to. Trolls are heavy tonight. Well, I mean, they have to be. I'm kicking ass and taking names. It must be brutal. SNT SBC, thank you. He literally couldn't talk with handcuffs on. Right. Oh, okay. So you guys got it. Andrea's got it. You guys are covered. See? There we go. Hi, trolls. Yeah, that's the nice thing. The trolls themselves are, you know, I mean, when they write stuff just to write stuff, it's all cool. Because all it does is boost us in the algorithm. You know, if they're being, you know, the only problem with trolls is when they end up, you know, using, I would say, racist, sexist, anti-gay, or bigoted language specifically, or they're just filling stuff. They're just So in this case, we've just got somebody who's filling the place with noise. Let's see. There you go. And then we'll take this person and we'll go. There we go. Okay, there we go. Oh, I get it. It's okay. They come back sometimes. And like I said, it's just filler. That's the great one. Yeah, exactly. 1,000 trolls, 200 viewers. Right. That's exactly right. It's all us. We're all trolls. We're all kind of like personal trolls in that regard. So, using there we go. And then we'll do this. And then, there we go. Thank you, Andrea. I think I did it. I think we got most of it. We'll see. It's okay. An IP block? I don't know that I can do that in there. I'm not quite sure how that works. But I love the idea, Dragon X Flyer, and please send info on that for some folks. Because we get a lot of those, like, especially the spamming ones. Yeah. But we appreciate them being here because, like I said, they boost us in the algorithm.
Make a phone call.
Okay, hold on. You get to make a phone call once you're in custody, once you're back at the place. Hal need help now. Freak show not banning help. I think I did it. We should be all right. I managed, Andrea. I think I jumped in there. Let's see. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's just a troll account. So, there we go. Ta-da. I think I got it. I think I got him.
Magistrate at my hearing is he would not let me make a phone call to get legal advice at that point.
No, you don't. Nobody gets to make a fucking phone call in the car on the way to the station. Ever, not anybody. The fuck are you talking about? Why would you get special dispensation?
I was denied legal advice till I got in front of that magistrate. Right.
No, you weren't. And he's representing himself. Why don't you just talk to yourself in the back seat?
Off the bat, that look, illegal alien, everything from illegal aliens to Al Qaeda terrorists were treated better than I was that day.
Bullshit. Yes, hold on one second. Thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate it. Yeah. Oh God, I'm not I have one. I'm not going to show it though. That's terrible. Yeah. So Peter Navarro thinks he was treated worse than this dude. Fucking hell. Yeah, there's just, I mean, it's like I mean, just dive into the Abu Ghraib pictures sometime. They just popped up when I did that search, and understand that Peter, like the fact that Peter Navarro even would say, "Yeah, I had it worse than they did," like just piss off.
I get to the jail cell, and it's like leg irons, handcuffs.
Yeah, you get the same thing everybody else gets.
Strip search.
Yeah, you ain't special. Moon River. Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
No food, no water.
Did you ask for any?
No access to anything. Solitary confinement.
You were put in a holding cell. He wasn't in solitary fucking confinement. You got your own cell, dummy.
Yeah.
They put me right in Gen Pop, a sweet piece of man meat like me. All I could hear was new meat, new meat, new meat everywhere. You know, and here I am walking on. They gave me, I didn't even get prison fatigues. I got one of those hospital gowns with the butt cut out, you know, which was, you know, convenient, but also horrible.
That's just like, I thinking to myself, this feels like Stalinist Russia or
Jesus Christ. No, you know, because you lived.
Mao Zedong, Xi Jinping, China, and make no mistake about this, Eric. This is unprecedented. This is absolutely unprecedented in our complete history. No senior White House official
has participated in an attack on the Capitol to stop the counting of electoral votes and disturb the peaceful transfer of power that we have in a functioning democracy, and therefore have felt the weight of the legal system upon them for participating in such an act. You're right. That's never happened before. It's almost as if the crimes involved hadn't happened either.
Has ever been put in leg irons for a contempt of Congress charge, and
you weren't put in leg irons for a contempt of Congress charge. You're put in leg irons because you avoided the subpoena in the first place. You were flying away, and when they took you to the holding area, the standard operating procedure for everyone there, rain or shine, old, young, fat, skinny, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, it doesn't matter. Everybody gets the same outfit, buddy. You ain't special.
Absolutely right. All these, like Eric Holder, whether it's Comey, Page, Strzok in the Russia hoax.
They all answered it. They all ended up answering the subpoena through their attorneys beforehand. And none of them tried to get on a fucking flight and leave town.
Brennan, Clapper, who lied, Schiff, who lied.
This is the same storyline, by the way. We watched this on Tucker. He's basically reciting this from Tucker show yesterday.
Lies all the time. None of they're like out making a ton
Peter,
of money.
What do you think's behind this? What is this?
Why do you can't? It's good. Maybe Gomert's right. maybe it's so bad for a Republican right now, he can't even lie to the FBI. I mean, what kind of America is this?
Behind, I mean,
Yeah,
clearly it's
what is
theater,
behind-
it's show,
right.
but I think that's important.
Clearly, it's theater, it's show. What do you mean? Oh yeah, the part where he was like, I don't have to answer that shit. You can call me and I'll come talk to you at my leisure, but I got to fly out of town and I was going to be on a show, Huckabee show, and fuck them.
Important distinction you made. They subpoenaed, they gave you a subpoena the week before, and so they waited till you got to the airport to make a big show, a big public show.
They waited till you were leaving town. They were like, this motherfucker isn't really leaving town, is he? Yeah, he's in a cab on the way to the airport. You're kidding me. No, he's in traffic right now. The fuck's he going? I don't know. I'm not, he wouldn't give us his schedule. He wouldn't even tell us where he was on January fucking 6th. Where is he now? His Uber just dropped him off at baggage claim. He's walking up the stairs. Yeah, he's buying a Zag Nut and he's checking his bags. What the fuck? Pick him up. What do you mean? Get over there. He's leaving. He knows Steve Bannon. He could be in fucking Qatar by tonight.
Show instead of
waiting until you flew wherever they didn't know you were flying to, if they'd have just let you get on the plane. What?
Up at your home. Go ahead.
There's some breaking news for you, Eric.
All right, this is exciting. Breaking news. I'm ready. You're ready. Get ready.
I haven't mentioned this to anybody else. They actually leaked this to the press.
Oh.
Because nobody knew about this.
Hold
but
on.
Me
wait.
and them, while I was sitting in that jail
Get back
cell.
in there. Hold
yet
on.
Very
There we go.
quickly, this thing spread like wildfire in the news. The only explanation for that is they leaked it to create part of the political circus. What's behind it, Eric, is clear. This kangaroo committee on Capitol Hill, in concert with the Justice Department in collusion with the White House, want to make sure Donald Trump is never president again. And I'm in the way. And thanks for showing my Taking Back Trump's America book, because it's taken on a new urgency.
Yeah, it's basically your testimony.
I need everybody to buy that, because that's going to be my legal defense fund.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's raising money. Hold on. Back up.
Trump is never president. Department in collusion with the White House want to make sure Donald Trump is never president again. And I'm in the way. And thanks for showing.
Yes, you're the last line of defense for Trump. You're like the plaque building up on his brain that's going to give him spikes of dementia over the next year that will make his doctor tell him that the stress of running again is not good for his health. And besides, I didn't ask you to take your pants off. What are you doing?
My Taking Back Trump's America book, because it's taken on a new urgency. I need everybody to buy that, because that's going to be my legal defense fund.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to, I'm talking to lawyers now. I was doing
You are. I thought you were representing yourself. Oh, he's talking to himself again. I'm sorry.
everything pro se before.
Brain spurs. Nice, Vincent.
With a 2-year prison sentence staring at me, I got to hire lawyers, and this is going to be a $500,000 lawsuit. And
it didn't have to be. You could have just shown the fuck up.
I got to take it all the way to the Supreme.
You could have sat down, pled the fifth, said you believe you have executive privilege, mouthed off about what you thought your rights were, made a big show of it. Wouldn't have cost you a fucking dime.
Supreme Court. So Taking Back Trump's America, please. But what's behind it is the
a dust jacket.
worst kind of weaponization of the
worst.
investigatory powers of
Worst.
Congress,
The worst kind.
partisanship, and a complete breakdown of ethics, morality, law within this Department of Justice.
Yeah, that's where they're eating babies right now while discussing how to selectively prosecute Republicans for breaking laws. By the way, it's not a real baby. It's one of those cakes that looks real, but they just did that to fuck with the new guy.
The fact that Patricia Alloy would do what she did in conjunction.
Well, stop poking the roof. By the way, he's poking the screen behind him, and it's making
with an FBI agent.
Look, it's making the green screen act up.
So
instead of
So
negotiating
Peter,
with the president,
Patricia
filing
Allure,
a civil suit.
Patricia Allure,
No
whoever
need
she
to do
is, answers to Merrick Garland, the Attorney General.
Who has not actually gotten a recommendation from the committee yet, except to make you testify.
Who answers to the President of the United States. Who
Navarro is the butt of the spear.
Yes.
Who do you blame for the treatment you received? By the way, I would say you were treated worse than a terrorist being taken down at an airport trying to board a plane he or she's not allowed to.
What? When did these fuckers become this delicate? Oh, thanks. Thank you, crazy insane alien.
Well, Eric, I blame the people who initiated this because we're.
Yeah, I do too. You mean the Jan 6ers? You mean the assholes in the Trump administration that pushed these people to show up, and it was going to get wild, and he's going to walk down there peacefully and patriotically. But if Pence doesn't do what he's supposed to do, you're going to have to be strong, or you're not going to have a country left, and you're going to have to fight for it. Those people, those kind of assholes. Oh, you mean the people who are responding to that shit?
We're all people of free will, and if I had been in the White House and this had come across my desk, I would have said, "Hell no, you don't do that."
You let him go. If I was in the White House and I heard that they were going after someone that I was a collaborator with, I would go, I, as your superior, am forcing you to break the law.
That's wrong. I don't care who you're doing that to. That's not the way. That's not who this country is.
Wait, what? Whose browser do you have open?
So the fact that Giordana did it and didn't.
I love to do it. I did it and I do it again. You love to do it.
Protest, that makes him complicit. The fact that Alloy did it, that makes her complicit. And of course, Matthew Graves is her boss, so he's complicit. Merrick Garland.
Yeah, it's the whole world against Peter Navarro. It's almost like Peter Navarro is the most important person in the world, and yet these people refuse to see that. Don't you understand? You can't take him through a process that everybody in that exact same situation has to go through. Take him to a place where everybody in that situation goes to. Give him the same rights and privileges that everyone who's there has, and put him in the same leg irons and handcuffs required by law to transport a prisoner through parts of the place to their actual holding cell, and put him in a separate holding cell based on your best judgment of what would provide for his safety and his ability to be processed quickly, and then bring the paperwork that you have him in custody to a judge almost immediately so that he's out an hour later. This asshole is going off like he was in the Shawshank Redemption, and he's talking to us covered in shit.
And then look, part of this thing, Eric, and this is an important point of law. This is probably the most important thing I'm standing up for.
Oh, yeah. It's not for me. It's for America.
They stripped Donald Trump of executive privilege.
And they stripped you of your underpants, apparently.
Allegedly, by having Joe Biden do it. There was...
What?
Of executive privilege.
Hold on.
Standing up for. They stripped Donald Trump of executive privilege, allegedly, by having Joe Biden do it. There was collusion.
He looks like he's had his executive privilege stripped. That is a man who looks like he used to be an executive, and he just found out he's not anymore.
Either task.
Can't even frog face like that.
Or explicit between Congress and the White House.
Oh, Jesus, he's creeping. Look, the old Trump is looking at new Trump, and he doesn't like what he sees.
And now the Justice Department.
What collage did they cut to?
To make sure I couldn't have a claim to executive privilege, not by talking to President Trump about it, but by saying I didn't have it because Biden had stripped me of it. Yeah. There's no case law for that. That is.
Well, if there's no case law for it, then he can do it. Any law that is not provided for in the Constitution or directly created by a law of the Congress is left up to the states, and therefore within the federal system, is open to interpretation, and they're allowed to do it. I'm sure Navarro was pro enhanced interrogation. Boo. Fuckity who.
Nonsense. I get that in front of the Supreme Court. It's a slam dunk win, and it should be. It needs to be precedent setting. The Supreme Court cannot duck this. They should not duck this.
Yeah, can you tell these assholes are holding out for like Ginny Thomas to protect them?
I paraphrased it as a Banana Republic type fiasco going.
Because you have limited cultural references and you're intellectually vacant.
On Peter,
worse.
I would say, probably worse. Peter Navarro.
Yeah, worse than a banana republic. It's like a potato republic. It's like a, you know what it is? It's like a persimmon republic. It's that bad.
Always good having you on regular.
That's oh God.
Guest, and we will talk to you.
Thanks for having me on. Tip of the spear. Other naval terms that Navarro out.
Again very soon. Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please buy my book. Please buy my book. It's a potato republic.
All right, now let's bring in former Trump campaign advisor.
Oh, dear God. Thank you. Thank you, Newsmax, for bailing out on that. Jesus Christ. That was the end of the clip. Well, by the way, quality editing there over at Newsmax. They cut these clips. I don't. This is where they go. He says goodbye. This is the clip that says it's about Navarro. And this is how it ends.
Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
Good luck.
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's bring in former Trump campaign advisor.
See? Quality. There you go. You couldn't fit that graphic in? Shit. Just lazy. Bono, here Navarro, doing his thing. What's it gonna say? We don't know the damn, but the don't want whack it to do. Oh, God. I don't have time for these. I have the thing. Run out of that. Oh, God. Oh, no. He's in a green shirt. It's just a mistake. I'm going to have to do these tomorrow, aren't I? Yeah. I got to go because I got to go feed the fam. So, this is Hal Sparks signing off. This is Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. I went about 40 minutes extra tonight because I was short on the other side yesterday on the top and the bottom of the show. So I figured I'd make up for some of that time without overdoing it. Matthew McConaughey, Schmoopy says, hey, Hal, Matthew McConaughey's gives emotional White House speech accused of grandstanding by Newsmax reporter. His wife, Camilla Alves, held the green con. Oh, yeah. Is it Greg? Because I have no doubt we're going to see some stuff from Greg about this. Yeah. Thanks, Crazy Insane Alien. But I'm going to, I'm going to sign off and go feed the fam, and I will see you guys tomorrow, 4 o'clock. The show is an hour later on Thursdays, so I will see you then. And I will be on, I'll be live tweeting some of the hearing stuff, and then I'll be on Midas Touch afterwards for a little post game of what happens late, tomorrow night after it's done, because it's East Coast, Toyman. So I'll hop on at the, whenever it's over, just kind of jump on with them and discuss what was talked about that, during the initial hearing. And I guess there'll be a little bit of that over the next couple weeks, just letting you know. And I don't know the timing on it, but I will let you guys know as soon as I know, if that helps in any way. But other than that, like and subscribe, support the show, give a thumbs up on your way out. If you're a troll, thanks for being here. And to the trolls who can manage to get through a whole show without dropping N-bombs or saying something horrible about, minorities or women, in language that's just not appropriate, period, end of story. Thanks for bringing your best troll self, but your best troll self. Fear not, Andrea. And we appreciate you. We really do. And I want to thank and have everybody in the audience thank our patrons for supporting the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks. Sign up today, support the show. You can also be a member on YouTube if you want. You can also be a member on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, there's memberships available as well. And of course, subscriptions on Twitch, which are starting to climb back up again. Thank you guys. I'll keep reminding. I keep forgetting, but I'm terrible at this stuff. And I only do it at the end of the show, and then these get cut in clips, and I don't know. Never mind. All right, take care. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.